Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing okay. It's starting to get a bit cold outside, so there's not as many videos because I'm not really motivated to tinkering with the cars, but this one has been sat for a while to do, and it is fitting the correct, hopefully, exhaust to the Volvo 480. So let's give it a go and fingers crossed it works. Let me show you the problem. This was the original that I took off a while ago. This is supposed to be a flexi, which it isn't anymore. And this is the end that attaches towards the catalytic converter. And you can see some of the metal sticks up. It's a flange, because that then takes the crushable donut and then you attach it on, and it's got the spring clips that attaches on and clamps it all nice and tight. Now the one from the previous video, you'll notice, did not have this lip. It was wrongly manufactured, and so what I did is I went back to the manufacturer, which are BM Exhausts, and they kindly solved the problem. So there's the new flexi, and you'll see there is the exhaust flange. Now it still doesn't look quite as big as the original, but it actually has one on. So what we're going to do is get this fastened in first of all up at the top, get that clamped on to the exhaust manifold, and then we'll try and fit this. Let's give it a go. Now I'm going to try, I'm going from the top for this side, because you can see there's the studs there. So if I lift the manifold up, well, I managed to get, I think it was 3 of them from the top, at least getting the bolts started, or the nuts, sorry. There's just the one at the back middle that I think is going to be a pain, because I couldn't get to that one, and I should imagine it's difficult from this end as well. So I'm going to get those on and then get them tightened up with the extension bar and see if I can get them tightened up. Okay, they're all done up. Not sure if the camera can see the studs there, hopefully you can, up the top. Using a long socket like that on a wobble on an extension arm has done the job quite nicely. So that's now on. You can see it's got a bit of flex to it, and coming back it's vaguely lined up. Now there's a bit of a gap there. I didn't expect to see such a gap, but whether the rear of the exhaust just needs to pull together to join that gap, that seems a much bigger gap than I was expecting. I suppose there's a bit of movement on that there. There's a bit of movement from the back. Let's see if I can get the crushed donut on there and then join these together and see how that goes. Of course, it would have been much easier if I'd remembered and put the O2 sensor on before doing this bit, because that would have been much easier to do before I'd actually fitted it. But okay, I'm going to attach that first and then get the donut for that. There's the O2 sensor in. or the lambda sensor I should say. Now you can see there's still a fair gap there. I mean, the bolts have only just gone in, so they are going to need to crush up. I've got the crushed donut in as well. The crushed donut was a little bit on the small side. I'm hoping that that's going to hold okay. I do have a larger one, but a larger one actually rattles about, and I don't think that's any good either. So I'm going to keep tightening these and see if I can get that to match up. That then is tightened up, and I think the crushed donut's doing its job. The only bit I'm not sure about is the top here, where the top has bulged and isn't going to seal. That's the only bit I'm not that sure about. The rest of that should be okay. I think that one is sealed up okay. The only other one that I think I did have a problem a while back was towards the back, whether the seal on that was right. So I might just go and check that that's nice and tightened up as well. Well then, moment of truth now. I've put the battery in, exhaust tightened up. One of the exhaust joints, actually the bolt, has started to loosen. So I might need to put a new coupler on that one. I'm not sure. If I need to, I might also put some more exhaust putty on if that starts to leak. But let's get inside, start it up, let it warm up, and have a look and see if we've got any exhaust leaks coming out. Fingers crossed this time. Really need to finish putting the interior back in. That's the ECU, or the body control module, more realistically. But yeah, the interior, need to finish sorting this out. Get the door card back on. Well, actually I need to put the door stay on as well. That needs welding. Also need to work out how to get the fuse box to stay in. It hangs down like that, which is really annoying. I might need to put some more clips or something along the top edge to hold that in. But anyway, why don't we try starting this up and see if it starts? Because also it's a cold day. It hasn't been driving in a while. Just taking it out of gear. It is chocked at the back. Let's put the ignition on and let's see if it'll start up. Might need to give it a little bit of revs. That's not a bad start, but you know what? I can hear an exhaust blow. I think I can hear an exhaust blow from the rear. Let's go out and take a listen. Yeah, it's quite an exhaust blow coming from that coupler. Yeah, from round this coupling, I think that's where we've got an exhaust leak. I mean, it is actually coming out. You can hear it is creating quite a bit of pressure, so I think the front isn't bad at all now. I think that leak at the back is what we need to solve. Everything here looks okay. I can feel warmth, but I can't feel any exhaust blow down the back of it, which is good as well. I also love seeing this car running. I don't know why, but it just really gives me some hope when the car starts up and gets running quite like that. So simply, so straightforward, it just starts. and gets itself going, which is a good sign for the engine. And the actual running gear on this thing, can actually see a little bit of vapour coming out the exhaust. So if we do have an exhaust leak, it must be minor now. It must be really minor. That one at the back I think is one to tackle. That's actually not the one that I thought was loose. But the thing is, those U-bolt exhaust holders, clamps, I don't hold much weight to them because they don't seem to take a good grip of the exhaust. I've got to admit, I much prefer that style of exhaust clamp, so I might actually just replace that one. In fact, let's replace it with this one. I think it's the right diameter, and that might get rid of it straight away. There we go. What I've done is retightened that. Actually the bracket came off really easily, which makes me think it wasn't tightened up properly, but I've also added more exhaust putty around it, hoping that that's going to fasten it, tighten it up as much as I can. I realised I can't use one of those couplers because this is a flanged exhaust where it goes into the rear back box. That kind of is a larger diameter, and this first pipe slots into it. So I'm going to hope that that's done enough to it. I'm going to start it up, get the exhaust warm, because that's then going to help the putty to set, and hope that I've done enough to get the exhaust to seal. Okay. That's it, started up and running. I do like the LED DRLs that I put in. They do look much nicer. They give out quite a nice light as well, quite even considering they're LED. Tell you what, I can still hear. Yeah, I can still feel it. I can still feel a lot of exhaust gas coming off that. That's not tightened at all. I think I need to look at a better clamp, because that clamp just is not crushing it properly and holding it right. Even so, I'm still going to let the exhaust to warm up a bit. I'm going to let that warm up, try and seal it off a little bit, but I think I'm going to need to look into a way of fastening that rear exhaust clamp as well. I don't know how much of this video will have worked either. This GoPro camera I'm using right now, it's crashing, it's saying the battery's ran out, it doesn't record audio half the time, so I'll tell you what, this is probably going to be the last video I shoot on this GoPro, and it's going to get chucked in the bin, honestly, because what's the point in recording videos and not being able to have reliability? So I think I'm going to need to look at a better camera. If you do have an idea for cameras, especially that run external microphones, pop a comment down the bottom, please. Help me out, let me know what I should be looking into. Fingers crossed though, that does sound much better now the exhaust's on like that.